All right, so we are going to get started with installing the AWS CLI tool on a Mac. I'm currently using a Mac. So as you can see on the documentation page, it's simple as using this command and installing the AWS CLI. Pip install AWS CLI. And by the way, this is also for Linux. So Mac and Linux. You can install the AWS CLI through pip, and we are assuming that you have Python installed already on your machine. So to do that, what we will do is come to the command line. So come to a terminal and sudo pip install AWS CLI, and for me I already have that installed, so it says requirement already satisfied, but you should be, if you haven't installed it already, then you should have, if you type in AWS, then you should see some kind of error like this asking you to enter something, right? Too few arguments or something like that. Okay, so the next step would be at this point. Now this works for Mac and Linux. So at this point, what we'll do is we'll do AWS configure, enter, and it will ask me for the access key ID, which I put in here. So I already put mine in here. So if I were to put a new access key, if yours was empty, I would say something. We'll look into how to create an access key after this lesson, but we will enter our access keys, enter our secret key, enter a default region name, US East 1, or whichever is the default, whichever region you work out of, enter. And now this is a cool thing, default output format. Usually if you don't say anything, then JSON will be your default output format, but I really like seeing the things nice and ordered style, so I use table, right? So I could put table here, or I could say JSON, or I could say text here, or you could leave it empty and you would see your output in JSON. So for now, let's put enter. Which will set mine to table because I have table set up already, and this is how you set up the AWS CLI. So I'm just gonna say AWS. Now this is a test command. You don't need to. We will come back to this later, but I'm gonna say AWS S3 ls, and there's all my S3 buckets. All right, so let's do one for Windows. We covered how to install the AWS CLI on a Mac and a Linux machine. Now we'll, if you can move on to the next one. You can skip the Windows if you don't use Windows, or if you do, then please check out the Windows installation guide, and we'll move on to doing some really cool stuff. Thanks for watching.